thought I had a pretty good plan for this episode. I was going to take this particular film that's been on my shelf for quite a while that I haven't watched, and I hoped it was a good, forgotten film noir, and I could share it with all of you. I mean, discovering new things is a big part of the fun of collecting all this stuff, right? But sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out, and that brings us to today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, well, let's just check it out. Today's film is Gumshoe from 1971, a not so brisk 86 minutes long, in color. In case you don't know what a gumshoe is, it's a cop or a detective who wears the rubber-soled shoes so they're quiet when he walks so you can't hear him following you or sneaking up on you. But this is about a nightclub comedian who's obsessed with detective novels, and he's kind of at a low point in his life, so he puts an ad in the paper as a private eye. And soon he becomes involved in this complicated case. It sounds like a pretty good setup, especially when early on in the film he receives this package that contains a photograph of a woman with an address and £1,000. This takes place in Liverpool. And a gun. The problem with this rather promising premise is the execution, I thought. The main character, Eddie, wears his trench coat throughout, and he talks like a character, sometimes like a narrator in a detective novel. And that's fair enough because he's obsessed with these books, so okay, maybe he's part of his DNA at this point. But he immediately becomes fearless and in control of the situation, even though he's pretending. There's no tension, there's no vulnerability to him, which would have made him more interesting and more sympathetic to the audience. We kind of be in on the secret with him, but it doesn't happen. Sometimes he imitates Bogart, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he speaks like he's a third-person narrator, not a voiceover, but speaking dialogue like a third-person narrator. It's kind of odd. But there's never any tension or a feeling that he's in over his head and that he really doesn't know what he's doing. The plot gets overly complicated, and even once you kind of piece it together, not that interesting, really. And on top of it all, this character, Eddie, makes several racist remarks toward the one black character in this film. And I'm talking about overt remarks, not subtle remarks. And that does not make us like him or really care about what happens to him. Gumshoe is pretty much categorized as a comedy or a detective film, but I'm going to look at some of the somewhat noir elements involved here. There's a voiceover at the beginning by the main character that kind of drifts in and out throughout. The title sequence especially, very noirish with some appropriate music to go with it. There's some really fast dialogue, a lot of banter, some of the characters, a lot of slang. Probably the best part of this film. A couple of characters, minor characters, are potentially interesting, like in some great film noirs where even the minor characters are good, but they're not on screen enough here, and there's just only one real minor character that stands out as being a very interesting character. Visually noir, not really at all. Maybe if this was in black and white, it might have helped it a little bit. But like I said, there's no tension here. There's no real set pieces that stick in your memory at all. And kind of a pet peeve of mine, Eddie casually waves around this gun, pointing it at people, even people he likes, not the bad guys. And I'm no gun expert. I took one gun safety course, and if you know anything about guns, you probably know the number one rule is you never point it at somebody unless you want to shoot them. So I don't know why they let that get away when they were making this film, because it's really distracting. At least to me it was. Talented people involved here. Albert Finney plays the main character. I think he's in just about every scene, if not every scene. I don't know if he was the right actor for this role, to be honest with you. Stephen Frears was the director. This is his first feature film. He's probably best known for films like The Grifters or Dangerous Liaisons. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not a huge fan of either one of those guys, but you know, I can still appreciate them. I've tried to keep an open mind watching this film. I really did. I really want to like it. Chris Menges is a cinematographer, quite renowned. He worked on The Mission and The Killing Fields, for which he won an Oscar. Andrew Lloyd Webber does the music, surprisingly, and he tries way too hard to add some excitement to some scenes that just don't have any excitement to them, like Eddie walking into a building or walking down the street. It's like, why is this music trying to amp up the excitement when there's nothing exciting happening on the screen? It was a real kind of mismatch, I thought. My rating for Gumshoe, unfortunately, I'm only going to give this 1 trench coat out of 5, and that's mainly because I liked some of the dialogue. What's on the disc? This is an indicator disc. It is a region A, B, and C. This is the regular edition, so no booklet came with this one. There are several extras, including an interview with the director, with the writer, with the editor. There's a short film by Stephen Frears. And but the cherry on top of this cinematic Sunday for me was the extras I did watch were rather soporific, if you know what I mean. It's pretty boring. And even on top of that, the film froze the second time I put it in my Panasonic 820, and it would not eject. So I had to do a little trick to get it to eject properly. And I've had some problems with that player. You can look those up on my channel if you want to. So where can you see Gumshoe? Should you want to check it out? Well, this Blu-ray apparently is not available anymore, but the DVD is. You can also rent it, and I think you can see it on YouTube for free. You know, I could be way wrong on this. IMDb has a rating of 6.4. Letterboxd has a rating of 3.3. So, like I said, I went into this wanting to like it, expecting to like it, with an open mind, and just disappointed. So, feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Maybe you did like this film, or maybe there's other films that you have been disappointed in as well. I'm sure there's plenty of those. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. We're still trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, getting very close. We're, I think, maybe 125 away, something like that. So subscribing is free. Also free as we are on the Letterboxd app under the Kazdoy Closet. There's a link in the notes down below. Take you directly there. You can see what else we're watching, brief written reviews and all that kind of stuff. What's not free is my ebook is available. It is True Tales from the Teacher Trenches, the ups and downs from 32 years of teaching. It's for your Kindle. If you don't have a Kindle, you can use the free Kindle app on any device of your choice. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's included in that service at no charge. Otherwise, you'd have to go to Amazon.com and pay $1.99. It's about almost 150 pages long, so it's a decent size ebook. So anyways, hope you like this episode. I wish I could have been more positive about what I watched, but that's the way it goes sometimes. See you next time.